I was just shocked and horrified that things like this happen, but I know that they do.
The reaction that I had to the father's letter was just so visceral, I couldn't even finish the entire thing.
Growing outcry after a former Stanford swimmer was found guilty of sexually assaulting an unconscious woman and was sentenced to 6 months in jail. Critics say that punishment doesn't fit the crime and are even pushing to recall the judge in the case. The district attorney wanted 20-year-old Brock Turner to serve 14 years in state prison, 14 years, and says the 6-month sentence is just a slap on the wrist. Turner's dad sparking further outrage in a letter to the judge seeking leniency, writing, quote, "That is a steep price to pay for 20 minutes of action out of his 20-plus years of life." Lee Sweal is a Fox News legal analyst. Bob Bianchi is a criminal defense attorney, former head county prosecutor, and a trial attorney. What struck me most about this case that I don't hear a lot of people talking about is the judge said that he felt like this man was not going to reoffend, that he wasn't a danger, and that's one of the reasons why he got such a life sentence. When you go into the details of the case, the pure violence of it, how really sick it was. I mean, it's not like a date rape situation, which is awful. You know, I'm not diminishing that at all, but she was totally unconscious. I mean, I can't even repeat the details on daytime television. They're horrific. Let me ask you, how do you think the judge came to the conclusion that this man's not a danger?
I can't even begin to think of what this judge was thinking about. This is one of the most predatory acts as a prosecutor that I have ever seen, because not only did he just drag this woman behind a dumpster, violate her in the way that he did, and with the things that you can't say on TV, and then leave her there. Thank God somebody caught them and captured them. This is somebody who is not only, to me, a predator, this is a person who has to pay a price. And the thing that really bothers me is the father's statement about 20 minutes of an incident. This girl, like she said, she wanted to take her skin off, like they were close. Has to deal with a lifetime of pain for this. It called out for deterrence like more than any crime I have ever seen in my career. And to think that we warehouse people in jail for such minor offenses in this country, and this kid of privilege who did such a horrible and horrific thing only gets a 6-month sentence is an outrage and a disgrace.
She wrote a 7,000-word victim impact statement that we were talking about that is very difficult to
for us
read.
to even get through.
Let me just give one, and then she stood up in court. She wanted to put voice to it. A little piece of what she said, the damage is done, no one can undo it, and now we both have a choice. We can let this destroy us. I can remain angry and hurt, and you can be in denial, or we can face it headed on. I accept the pain, you accept the punishment, and we move on. Lise, he says he didn't do it, and the judge says that part of the mitigating circumstances was that he was drunk. I mean, how does he maintain he didn't do it?
Well, he says it was consensual. She says, and she was brilliant, she was a beautifully written 13-page letter. She says, yes, they were both drunk. But then she goes on to say, but she didn't tear anyone's clothes off. She didn't rip anyone's clothes off. She didn't violate anyone. She didn't pick anyone out from this party. She didn't she didn't bring anyone to this horrible place. She didn't violate anyone. He was the one who did all of those horrible things. And back to your question that you had with Bob, he is a danger to the community. If he would do this horrendous act to this one young woman, what's to keep him from doing it to anybody else? In fact, I would say this sentence would embolden him. If that's all he's going to get, 6 months in county jail.
Yeah, so let me ask you, so there is a lot of outrage, and obviously, you know, this is, it's on television everywhere. They're starting a petition in the area to get 81,000 registered voters in order to recall this judge. How hard is that? Do you think it will be successful?
I think that this judge has placed himself, the great efforts that we've made with regard to domestic violence and rape cases, light years behind. I don't think it'll be difficult. I think that this was such an outrageous decision for a vulnerable, drunk, unconscious person to let this man go after he violated her in the way she did. Now, in my opinion, with all due respect, this woman has not only been raped once, on the physical day that this thing happened. She's been raped by the judicial system as well. And she's going to have to deal with the fact that somebody actually felt there were mitigating circumstances.
In his defense, I don't know if there is one, but other people have said, 6 months in jail for someone who's never been in jail is a lifetime. His life is ruined. He was going to be an Olympic swimmer or whatever it is. His life is destroyed.
And that has what to do with anything. She even says about, I'm reading articles about the guy here, the rapist, and they talk about his swimming abilities.
Yeah.
What does that have to do with the crime that he committed?
Yeah.
The swimming abilities.
Really? Setting story. Thanks to both of you. Eric, over to you.